All right. So after you hit OK for that. All right. Seizat. 박수. 박수 야매. 쇼머니. 에이. 악당이. 에이. So let's warm up before you jump jacks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Left ankle around. So again, today's review will be of Jitte, basically going over the final points, went over the whole month, reverse. So by this point in time, most of you know Jitte pretty well. I'll focus really making sure that we take away what's unique about Jitte, that other katas won't teach you. So therefore, if you want to learn X, Y, Z, you get it from Jitte. Yep. So other ankle, reverse. So we went over bunkais before in class, reverse. Ideally, some of those concepts of bunkai will be embedded in some of the ways you do some of the techniques in terms of what the focus of technique is. So hips. But next month for January, reverse, we'll do the kata Jin. That was a little harder because all the reference points for that one are video. There's not a whole lot of books, shoulders. So, and then the books are different. And the manual which you guys care because it is solidified, but reverse. Other people may have slightly different ways of doing Jin. So this will be interesting. Make sure we all do it the same way. Arms. Reverse. Crossing. Palms up. Over your shoulders. And twisting. On your left knee, both feet flat, deep stance. Ankle over, hands up, hip down. Reach straight up, Soga. Put your hands together and reach up. Pull those shoulders together. There we go. Hands to the floor. Push out your back leg. And shoulders back. Other side. Both feet flat. Deep stance. Ankle over. Hands up, hip down. Hands on the floor. and shoulders back. Up, head up and down. Looking left and right. Ear to shoulder. And around. Reverse. And shake it out. Turn on, straighten your gi. Okay, so I think everyone else but me has a long enough living room where they can start in the back of the living room and go forward. I'm gonna have to go sideways because I have tried it many times, but I get way too close to the camera. So Jitte starts pretty much one stance off the back mark. It doesn't go any further than that. So I'm gonna go this way just for practice. So let's do with count, whole kata, now Jitte. Your with count. Itch. Knee. Some. Feet. Go. Up. Switch. Hatch. Two. Ju. Itch. Nikia. Slam. She. Go. Up. Switch. Hatch. Two. Ju. Itch. Three. Some. She. Go. Up here. Some. Yama. All right. I think I missed one technique after here. Oh, straight into it. That's correct. Okay. I did want to show you something real quick. So I'm share the screen. I thought this was a pretty succinct summary of what Jitte is supposed to be. Normally I would put the book up the screen, but it just doesn't work very well. So, okay. So this is what the page before the bunkai of Jitte says. The idea implicit in Jitte is the mastery of this kata should enable one to perform the actions of 10 men. Jitte, 10 hands. From it can be learned techniques to deal with weapon attacks, particularly stick attacks. As much as I want to do that defense against a bow, it's really hard to do that virtually. So I would like to do that when we're in person again. To block strongly, various important points found also in Heian 3 kata, such as the crucial role of the hips and concentrating power, must be completely mastered. This kata is effective for tempering bone and sinew and for understanding the importance of mastering the tightening of the sides of the chest. Moves like this, your knees pointing one way, your shoulders pointing a different way. For example, the twisting in torso and blacking. Overturning the opponent or taking the opponent by force. 24 movements, but one movement. The overturn the opponent can be seen if they have a staff, you grab it out of their hands and you use it against them. All the bunkai in this book show that. So, I'm still spotlighted. Okay, so if you look at the bunkai, pretty much every single one of them, they got sticks in their hands, and he's pretty much taking it out of their hands and throwing the guy on the floor in some way or another. So those just don't translate very well on camera when I try to teach it remotely. So, okay. So let's go to the kata again, focus on the points of where there's a large tension in the torso. So let's start from the beginning. Again, slow count. Okay. Jitte. Your It's left hand on the hips, okay. Yep. Draw hand. Huh? Knee. Some. Shoot. Go. Okay. Now for this one, keep your left hand back as long as possible, almost to when your left foot lands where it needs to be. So try to keep your shoulder back. Rook. Switch. Now for this one, feel like you're tearing your chest apart in two directions as you do double hand techniques. Sheet. Go. Same feeling as the kumite earlier. Keep your rear shoulder as back as long as possible. Itch. Knee. Some. Chi. Go. Rock. Sichi. Touch. Q. Q. Itch. Tear your chest apart. Knee. Some. Shi. Go. Rock. Yame. So everyone seems to remember from here the idea that you're not just swinging around and you're jamming kumite, but you're actually from here, bring your knees close, waiting, twisting at the end. So it's a very violent second half of the technique. So for the first half, you kind of wind yourself up and then twisting it all out at the end. That's what they were mentioning, really twisting the torso. The first time I probably felt this was Heian Nidan, when the reverse block, and then again in Heian Godan, 1, 2. And we certainly have this feeling in Teki, trying to turn your shoulders 90 degrees from your hips. You know, where my hand actually points this way, and again my hand points one way, my knees point the other way. So that same feeling, really twisting up your shoulders from your torso. Okay. So one thing I want to mention, it's not obvious in here because we have a different point. Jitte is probably one of the tourist katas where you just don't end up on your mark. It's real hard. And most often the reason that is the yuriashis are done at the wrong times. So there are two major yuriashis, which a lot of people will forget. And I can always tell if someone hasn't done those, they don't end up in their mark in the kata, so therefore I know they didn't do them. So from here, 1, 2, foot's on the X. Okay, this is not just a simple drop. It's a yuriashi off the mark. So this is not as simple as just stepping down, twisting and hitting. This is a literally throw yourself with the opponent. So you don't really get a whole lot of yakuzuki action, I would say, where your feet are planted. You have to really, off this back leg, run at the opponent. This only works if your knee is slightly bent here. It's really hard to do this with a straight knee and push off a straight knee. So which means here, you need to bend your knee here. So this is not a straight technique where my head's almost off the frame of the camera. It's a bent knee technique, sagi ashidashi. And then from here, off that bent knee, really driving it. So let's practice those techniques a few times. The idea is you want to throw yourself into your opponent. It's not a land and yakuzuki technique. It's a, I won't call it a jumping technique, but it is a lunging technique. You're going to come off that back leg. So let's do that toward the camera. So right leg forward, left hand up. So remember, this is tiger mouth. So your thumbs on opposite sides, almost like you're grabbing a stick in front of you. Itch. Remember, your right foot leaves the mark. Knee. Itch. Knee. Back up to your broom. Right leg again. Itch. Knee. Yes. So again, when you come down, feel like you're throwing yourself into them. Yes, yeah. It almost feels like this from both side eye, except you don't lean over as much. Yes, there we go. Okay. So left foot. Itch. Watch my left foot. Knee. Really coming off your mark. Okay. One more time, if you can. Itch. Knee. Not bad. So the feeling is more like lunging yakuzuki than it is going down to yakuzuki. Okay, so the feeling really feels like you're just throwing yourself out there. So it's not necessarily hand nidan or hand yandan, but that type of feeling, except hand yandan is obviously much closer. And so is Sochin, but the feeling is one leg, really throwing yourself out there. So that is technique, which I can tell if they actually do the yuriashi because they've actually moved off their mark on that one. If I see this, nope, judging down a point for that. Okay. So the next one, this is the one I learned in the earlier class this month. But for the first technique, a lot of people, and I have been doing this for a long time myself, watch my left shoulder. We'll do this, we'll get down to here, and then pronounce themselves into Hamdi. Okay. Shihan has mentioned for this one, the range of your shoulder movement is just the arm coming back. Oh, that's a terrible fisheye view. So the range of the shoulder movement is not necessarily turn your body as much as just bring your arm back. So in this case, I'm not trying to turn my belt to you. My belt's still pointing to the opponent. So it's not a large hip movement. So you're still front facing. So from here, let's see. Okay, it's slightly different in the book. But I do mention that they mentioned lately, it's not necessarily you're turning yourself away as much as you're dropping. And whatever your arm comes back in half body. I'm not trying to turn my belt as much as just tense up my shoulder. Okay. So that's a small detail that was mentioned in the early IT class. Okay, so let's go to the kata again, focusing on one, this small caveat, keeping Maya instead of Hamdi. Two, making sure that when you execute these techniques, you're keeping your torso back as long as possible. The metric is your lead foot lands way before you start rotating. And the third one is from Sagi Ashidachi, Yuriashi off. So actually using a bent leg, riding a straight leg to move. So let's go back from the beginning. I'm going to go from the other side so you can see the other side of the technique. So bound, what count? Bound out to jitte. Itch. Knee. Some. See. Go. Look. Sit. Hutch. Keep. Ju. Itch. Knee. Some kia. She. Go. Hook. Sichi. Yuriashi. Hutch. Two. It's neat. Some. Shigo. Rock Yoyashi. Ham. Dame. No. So the final move does have a Yuriashi, but I never bothered to mention it because here's what everyone does in a tournament. They go 1, 2, 3, and then you always see this. You look at the mark and figure out, okay, how far do I need a Yuriashi to land in that mark? I'll Yuriashi this far, me and my mark. Or if they're here, if they're like real close, they're Yuriashi like this. So that last technique is a saving grace that you know exactly how far you are from your mark in a tournament because you can see the mark on the floor. Ideally, you'll be doing the kata in a way that there is a natural Yuriashi, not an augment, not an adjusted one. But that one you don't have to worry about as much as the 2 stepping forward from Sagiashi Dashi. Okay, so one of the other techniques I wanted to mention, which I don't think gets a lot of attention. I didn't really have a good lesson for it earlier. These techniques were 1, 2, and then here. This one is really hard, in my opinion, to be able to kind of bunch up and bring yourself across the floor. So when I first thought about this one, I thought, okay, here's what I do. Kind of a shuffle. I realized no matter what I did, I could not get the distance to really make it look correct. This is one where I consider a left hand attack. So from here, I want you to think you're throwing your body to a left hand attack. That will move you more than actually trying to do this double step. So from here, there's kind of a small step, okay, where some people will actually just straight up Yuriashi. So that's ideal. But in order to Yuriashi the distance you need, don't think I'm going to bring my hands up. Feel like from here, remember, they mentioned that the kata is really stretching, the torso. This is bringing your body together. This one exploding out. Okay, so although it's not your legs, feel like your torso is throwing you. So from here, let's go left and right a few times. So just left, okay, and then down, then right. So the idea is you want to be able to get at least from here, at least half a stance over. Okay, more than a quarter, so not in place. If you can get a full stance, great. But find a mark on the floor, that where you can gauge yourself how far you're moving. In this case, I'm going to use my blue line. So again, left and right. This forgot the name of the technique, but uchiburai, outside hand strike. Okay, so let's go left, and then reset after each one. Each direction, each way. Feel like you're throwing your torso. Ready? 1 count. Itch. Reset. Knee. You really throw those arms out. That's what feel like that drives you more than your feet. Reset. Some. Sergey, why don't you face the camera? That way you can see your lateral movement a little better. Shoot. Really try to get your elbows above your shoulders. Really throw the arms out. Go. Set. Hook. You focus on the upper torso, the legs will follow. See? There you go. Set. Hutch. So Sergey, think, not pick your leg up and step. Think, push off your back leg. Okay, try to think that way, and your torso will naturally drag you. Okay. 4 more. Itch. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now you're using your chest rather than just your legs. Knee. Yeah, there you go. The legs aren't perfect, but your arms are getting the technique. Some. Last one. Sheep. And so that technique, once I figured out to leave my shoulder behind for the rotating ones, that technique just killed me for the longest time. It would just look ineffectual like that. I just couldn't figure it out. But then I realized, well, I should have this really tense feeling in my ribs. Then I started realizing what a powerhouse was. It's not necessarily the skip, but really throwing your arms into it. That's kind of like the difference between punching like this and punching like this. Really throwing your torso at it. So same thing. Okay, so that's the open-handed, double-handed one. So the other one that's interesting is manjuke. So we have manjuke where we're just finishing the last one of these, and then we rotate around. This is hard to see. I'm gonna do this distance right here. So I'm in the camera right now. So for manjuke, the idea is don't do this. Lean in, then rotate out. What you should have the feeling is from here, go down, and rotate out. Okay. So the best way I've heard explain is that from here to rotate faster, put more onto your pivot. So basically put all your weight onto your pivot, but then spin fast. The opposite of that is you see people do this. They don't put anything in their pivot and just kind of do this. Kind of swing wide. Okay. What you want to do here is really drive your weight into your pivot. And then from here, explode out. Okay. So we've seen that all the time in Shotokan. Except here, you have this really larger hand movement. So for this one, let's do it both legs. You only do it in the right leg in this kata. In most kata, you do right leg. But we all know the end of hand Shotokan is also right leg as well. There's very few times doing the left leg. So let's try this one. So for this one, if you can see yourself in the camera pretty well, go sideways. Okay. So in this case, I'm gonna go sideways with my lead leg away. So that way when I turn, the moment I start turning, I can see whether I'm leaning in or not. So from here, left hand up, right hand down. Okay. I'm gonna put all your weight into your pivot and swing your left foot hard. Ready? Back. If you do it right, you lose your balance the first few times because you move much faster than you ever were before. Okay, right foot forward. Knee. There you go, Macarena, that's good. So now your feet are trying to catch up to your twist, your hips. That means you're moving faster. Ready? Some. You should really feel that weight in your right knee as you go down. Now reset it each time. Sheep. Back. Go. So for exercise purposes, I'm gonna put this behind me, not too close, but so that there's no chance of me swinging my foot wide. This means I have to keep my foot tight. Here. So that means all my weight goes in, I go out. So at no point in time, it's a very tight turn. Okay. 4 more and we'll switch sides. Ready? Itch. Knee. Ooh. Good, good, good. Thump. She. Okay, let's go other leg now. So this one is the leg that you don't very often use in kata for this rotation. So this one will naturally feel harder. So it's behind me. So left leg forward. Okay. This one, left hand down, right hand up. All right. No, sorry, right. Yeah, left hand down, right hand up. The front hand is the downward hand here. Okay. So let's do 2 counts for this one, just because. So first count, just getting tight. Okay. And then second count, rotate out manjuke. So left hand down, left hand starts down, left hand finishes up. Okay, 2 counts. Itch. Okay, so left hand down, right hand over your shoulder, knee. Back. Left foot forward. Sergey, rotate the other way. Face the other. I'm sorry. Face the other wall. Yep. Left foot forward. No. Yeah, that one. Okay. So remember, your right foot is going behind you. Okay. So you're looking at every wall except for the lamp. Okay. Left hand down, right hand up. 2 counts. Itch. Get tight. Right hand over your shoulder, left hand down. Okay. Now trade hands. Deep. Back. Left hand down, right hand up. So when you go to the center, your right hand stays up, your left hand stays down. Okay. Once you slip into manjuke, your hands then trade places. Left hand goes up, right hand goes down. Okay. At the beginning, left hand down, right hand up. Okay, 2 counts, a little quicker. Itch, knee. Back. Itch, knee. Back. Itch, knee. Yuka. So from here, you're turning backwards. So instead of bring your right foot in front, bring your right foot behind you. Okay, so left foot up. Yeah, swing your right foot toward the piano. Nope, go back. Go back, Yuko. Okay, you got your left foot forward, right? Keep your left foot planted. No, you're correct, Yuko. Back. Okay, now keep your left foot planted. Don't move your left foot. Bring your right foot toward the piano. Backwards. Yep, correct. Yeah. So again, we don't do this particular move in the kata. So this is how you won't see this in the kata, but it is good to understand in both sides of your body. So left foot forward, left hand down, right hand up. Okay, 1 count. Again, don't let your head lean forward. The idea is drop your weight in, spin out. So ideally, my head doesn't go in front of this blue line. Okay, that's the ideal situation. Okay. If it helps, look up. That will keep you from leaning forward. Not what you want to do the kata, but it may help your posture. Left hand down, right hand up. Okay, 1 count. Remember, drive your weight into your left foot pivot. Itch. Up. Knee. Yes. It's up. Thumb. So you're going to bring your elbows, touch your elbows first, then explode. So get small, then get big. Sheet. There we go. Go. Good, good. Walk. Sit. Touch. Two. Ju. So one thing I want to mention about manjuke, I think everyone's got this part clear. where your right hand just kind of swings down into Gedan Barai. The left hand is equally important. So you're not doing this. You're not just right hand, draw hand. Your rear hand is up. So for this one, my right hand will start at the bottom, comes around, and then feels like it yanks back as my leg goes forward. So this motion right here, where one leg goes forward, the hand goes up. So here. So this is not just left hand down, left foot forward. That's easy Gedan Barai. Manjuke is the best way I heard this explained is not how we do it, but it feels like this. The Italians under Mura Sensei mentioned, don't think of this as Gedan Barai, Uchi Barai. Think of it as twisting, whipping your arms apart up and down. So the idea is not opening, but had this feeling of kind of like unscrewing up and down. And by unscrewing up and down and keeping your rear arm close to your shoulder, that will be the counter twisting motion you're looking for. Not just arms open, but this idea that you're compressed, expanded. Yeah, so they want to see the same force in your front hand as your back hand. That's hard. And the way to do that is use both hands against each other. So not just, oh, I got two independent movements. It's almost the same feeling you have when you do this. Both hands against each other, really pinching your back. So not just opening, but pinching your back together. Again, this is torso tension, not hip tension. So as much as I try to do this with my hip, trying to do something fancy, it just didn't work. Everything from here is kind of the rib cage up, most of the kata. These movements, all kind of rib cage and up, that kind of twisty motion. Okay, so the two ones I did are kind of this double-handed explosion, and this double-handed unscrew. Okay, so this time going to the kata, I want you to focus on those moves where you use opposing arm techniques that are moving, not necessarily ones where you're sliding your feet or you're just swinging your arms. So I want you to focus on the double hand technique. Okay, so again, what count? Jitte. Your what count? Ich. Ni. Some feet. Yo. Roku. Suchi. Double hand technique. Hachi. Double hand. Q. Ju. Ich. Ni. Some. Shi. Kom. Roku. Yashi. Ok. Suchi. Yashi. Q. Double hand. Ju. Ich. Ni. Some. Shi. No. Some. And then. All right. So the way I know I've done this kata correctly is I have trouble breathing afterwards because I'm just using everything from torso upwards. These motions, I don't know about you, but Field Sensei and Yaguchi Sensei something to do this. We do a technique, and go down. Ich, ni. And you have to hold it like this for about 5 to 8 minutes while he explains something. You don't get to slack off. You have to hold it. I swear he's testing whether we have the ability to do these techniques or not. We're just being lazy and we're keeping our hips back. So this is what that feels like at the end of a Yaguchi class, where I have to hold myself in the most uncomfortable positions. just hold myself and go down. Some technique that's miserable. Okay. So you should feel it on your ribs. Okay. So this time, whole thing, 1 count. Okay. So I was just part of recording whatever. I'm gonna see you staring at you guys. So holding 1 count on your own. Okay. Baonan jitte. Your hajime. Bame. All right. Good. I can definitely see the explosion in the arms and double hand techniques. One thing I want to mention, it's dramatic during tournaments to do this. That's just drama. So from here, feel like you're racing off the line. Don't start falling and then go. So the moment my head moves off this blue line, I'm going. Okay, so the idea is don't tip your weight and fall, then go. Your legs should be bent so much that the moment this goes forward, your whole body's going forward. So in this case, don't let gravity do any work. Gravity, if anything, is preventing you from moving forward fast. All the work is in that back leg. So this part, yes, that's slow. But here, that's the quick part. So make sure that you have that rhythm where going to the side of the ashidashi, yes, that's measured. But it's not like gankaku where you just kind of lower, kick, then go. This is just the second half of the after the kick from gankaku. Just go right away. That proves your right leg or your left leg is really doing yuriashi. Okay, so drive that out. This is one I don't see the problem here, but I just want to let you guys know. From here, this technique, the hands are straight vertical. I think at some point in time, people are doing kind of circular thing. I'm not sure you're going to lose points in this one, but from here, hands straight up and down, just like empty, straight up and down. And so sai uki. So you're technically, I guess you would say teisho, bare palm. But from this one, since you're using your block here, using the palm heels, and as much as you can, peel your hand back from the palm. So it's not necessarily here, but I do understand flexibility, not always every strong suit. So again, same move as here, where you're jamming your palm heel into the rib cage. You want to pull your fingers back as far as possible, which means from here, it's not straight. Okay? It's a bent arm technique. So last frame right here. His arm's slightly bent. Obviously, he's still raising. So let me find the one before that. Okay. So here, last technique there. He's got his thumb sticking up a little bit, but his arm's not straight. It's here, not straight. Here. So the way I like to feel it, my elbow is slightly behind my rib cage. So it's not like a punch or my wrist, elbow, shoulder in a line. I feel like elbow slightly behind my rib cage, like I'm jamming in. In fact, that helps with this technique. I'm not swinging around and stuffing. I'm actually from here. My elbow is behind my palm heel the entire time. And this is a thrusting technique. So this is really a thrust, not a mawashi. So it's not this. Some people do it that way. I used to do it that way when I wasn't as flexible in the shoulder. Go from here. My right elbow, you'll never see it. Okay. So it's not this. Where you see my elbow hook out and strike, which means my end point is elbow slightly bent, not straight. So that's a small caveat of Teisho. And Osayuki, up and down, same point of contact, but obviously different application for blocking. Okay. So lots of small fine points, but that's only because I'm just polishing what your kata looks like already. Okay. All right. So 2 more times, except this time, start instead of where you are, start in the opposite side of the room. That way you have the camera looking the other way. You can see yourself going the other direction. So if I was starting over there, I'm going to start over here now. So basically, you probably start with your back toward the camera. Make sure you got enough room to step one back. Okay. Balance. Jitte. Your okay. Whole thing, 1 count. Okay. No speed, no power. Itch. I'm sorry, Hajime. Stum. Come on. No. Good. So again, you feel like you're twisting your torso above your rib cage. So this is not necessarily hip twisting as much as torso twisting. Okay. Real flexibility test. Okay. One more time, same angle. So starting from where before, not what I'm saying here, but just where you started a moment ago with the back toward the camera. Okay. Balance. Jitte. Yuko, other side of the room. Your Hajime. Faster than drop Macarena. There we go. So again, this technique from Sagi Ashidashi, it's quick. It's gravity's natural friend here. This is not like this technique from Empy. This is the technique where you are trying to beat gravity to throw yourself in Yuriashi. It looks nice when you kind of have this fall, that explosion. Again, that to me is theatrics for tournament, not the actual kata. Actual kata from here. The moment you start turning, just go straight into it. That's probably a rhythm change for some people, but it just, I really hate it when they're like kind of taking forever. And then when they're about to land, when they're about to fall, then they catch yourself and go. I don't like that. So again, focus on the ribs, focus on, not only just twisting your ribs in opposition to your hips, but also double-handed techniques. Not a whole lot of kata have these double-handed techniques. I mean, even Those are very subtle because you're going in one direction. That's not really predicated on the double hand technique. But when you're going sideways, you really start feeling it. When you start doing this, you really start feeling it. So manjuke, you're like ripping yourself apart. You know, like I said, the Italian guy was telling me, not opening, but unscrewing yourself. That's probably the best way I could heard explained. Okay. So we're going to end class on that. I hope everyone had a good understanding of Jitte for the month. We went over many things. Any questions about the kata maybe that I can do in the last couple of minutes you have about that? Okay, let's finish class. Say that. Maxo. Maxo Yame. Dojo-kun. Seek perfection of character. Be faithful. Endeavor. Respect others. Refrain from violent behavior. Shomani. Hey. Okay. Hey.